Yeah, I'm back with another video. Don't forget to hit that like. Um, I mean that. Let me get my. I'm blurring up now. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button. And if you're new, I mean that's if you're new. And if you're not new, then you know what this channel about to do. All right, I done messed up already on my intro, getting tongue tied, but it happens. Um, but this right here, I just want to pay a tribute to somebody that had played a part in the Detroit area who was a legend in herself. Um, I've grew up watching her on the Channel 7 Action News and for years. And she also was big when it came to education as well. I want to pay tribute to Miss Doris Biscoe, you know, a legend within herself. I mean, a beautiful woman, and I just want to pay this tribute to her. You know, um, she had passed away on Friday, and she was one of our, I say, one of the greatest anchors. You know, that I know outside of a few others that retired now, and like I said, and I remember. I'm gonna share that story with y'all when I come back. All right, I'm gonna show you the video, and uh,
Some heartbreaking news we learned about over the weekend. Our friend and former colleague Doris Biscoe has passed away.
She was a pioneer who graced the airways of Detroit for more than 25 years, who not only brought us the news, but also put her heart and soul into making a difference.
7 News Detroit reporter Simon Shakehead is taking a look at her legacy and hearing from some of the legendary names at Channel 7 who knew her best about how she blazed a trail for others to follow.
She was like an old-fashioned Hollywood star.
As a friend and former colleague of the trailblazing anchor Doris Biscoe, Guy Gordon is reflecting on her legacy and what she stood for. While bringing us the top stories for 2.5 decades, Doris also had a passion for promoting literacy.
This Learn to Read series that she was deeply involved in. Here's something that was totally unrelated to news, but where you were teaching people a life skill that was going to improve their lives for the duration.
On Friday, Biscoe passed away at the age of 77, leaving many friends and family members mourning her loss. And while she was originally from Washington, D.C., Biscoe became a household name in Detroit, covering tough topics.
And the embers of 1967 cooled. Detroit was shattered and its people were disillusioned.
Among her award-winning reports were stories that focused on Rosa Parks.
We felt very strongly that people not being treated fairly in the United States was very much a problem. Racism in and around Detroit. And yes, it stemmed from a lot of things. For her to sit in that chair and to be the face of what needed to be said from many different sides was important.
Both as a woman and among the first African-American news anchors in the country, Biscoe never lost her humility, nor her belief that fair reporting matters. Legendary anchor Diana Lewis telling me today, Doris and I often met with young, aspiring African-American journalists, and it was our mission to encourage and set an example for them. Doris was a fashion plate. She was a model for many years prior to entering the business. And let me add, she loved Mayor Coleman Young.
She was very genuine on the air. What you saw is what she was. She was not putting on air. She was not trying to be a personality.
What was it like working alongside Doris Biscoe?
She was wonderful, and she was stunningly beautiful. She knew how much she could help people, but also she understood the importance to the community of giving a voice to the voiceless.
Biscoe has received numerous honors for her work, including induction into the prestigious Silver Circle of the National Academy of Television Arts and Sciences. At 77, she also left behind a beautiful family, including her loving children and grandchildren. Here in Metro Detroit, there's a lasting feeling synonymous with Doris Biscoe.
She was approachable. And that's the one thing I think Detroiters really, really love a lot, is that they want to feel like they know you.
Sure.
And with Doris, they knew her.
Doris is deeply missed by so many of us. It's important to mention after she retired, she continued to advocate and volunteer for reading programs that have made a huge impact. Mike, Carolyn?
Yeah, I mean, growing up in Detroit, seeing Doris and Diana and Dana Eubanks, I mean, they were Black women, some of the first Black women to ever to grace a set like this. So they were definitely trailblazers, and I certainly grew up loving her here on Channel 7. So really sad that she's gone, but she has certainly left a legacy.
You get a sense of the love and the respect that our audience had for her.
In Detroit, absolutely, because it's not the same when you go to stations across the country, but here in Detroit, absolutely.
Detroit, big shoes to fill. Thank you so much, Simon. Thank you.
Yep. There you have it. Doris Biscoe, the legendary Doris Biscoe. Yeah, she was definitely a sweetheart, a beautiful person. I mean, I can speak that because I've met her personally. Years ago, I used to work with a young man. His wife worked at the station at Channel 7, and I grew up, matter of fact, watching Channel 7 Action News, and I would see Doris Biscoe every time I look on, every time I would look, on the, the TV on when it was news. It was Doris Biscoe, Diana Lewis, every one of them that I've seen on there. I remember them as a child, and as I was growing up, I would still see her. Even I would watch her literacy program that she would, that she would have up, and that she would come on every Saturday morning. And I remember it very well. And I remember, like I said, when I met her, she's such a sweet spirit. It was at what was that? With my coworkers, whose wife worked there. Yeah, well, he had passed away. This was like in the early 2000s, and I met her at his funeral, and she was such a so down to earth, that it like I said, you don't find too many people, in that that's like that. That's very that's humble, that's sweet. I've met a few of the news reporters, and she was one of the ones. She was one of a kind. Hey, she was definitely one that like I said, didn't think highly of herself or thought she was better than anybody, or didn't think that I mean, that's the character I picked up when I've talked with her, and just communicated with her, Diana Lewis, Dana Eubanks, and all of them. That the pioneers that they have mentioned, that have paved the way, for the black journalists, and she's definitely was one of them. So you know, definitely she will be missed. I mean, like I said, I mean, to me, I looked at her last time, when I seen her on TV doing a commercial or something. She looked like she didn't age a bit. Yeah, but like I said, Doris Biscoe, you will be missed. You're a legend in my sight, and you will always be in our hearts. Rest in peace, Doris. Miss Doris. Till we meet again one day. God bless you.